Hi, everyone. We're going to be presenting on our project, Community Engaged Scholarship and Community Policing, Lessons from Baltimore City. I'm Dr. Moira Lynch, and I'm in the Department of Politics, Geography, and International Studies at University of Wisconsin, River Falls.
And I'm Dr. Danielle Kushner, president of the board at Reconcile, Baltimore, an organization devoted to building trust between the community and the police. So our project was born after the 2015, unfortunate 2015 death of Freddie Gray in police custody here in Baltimore City. After Freddie Gray's tragic death, we entered into a consent decree with the Department of Justice, which is a court enforceable agreement stating that the Baltimore Police Department had to reform its policies, practices, and procedures. One such policy was their community policing policy. And so we engaged in this data collection process to determine whether and how residents wanted to be engaged by police in the community.
The data collection project occurred in summer of 2019, and our major focus was to reach populations that were vulnerable and unlikely to show up to town hall meetings, or were unlikely to speak to the police or fear the police. So we primarily spoke with immigrant communities, persons of color, folks who have been previously incarcerated, and individuals who were facing drug and addiction disorders. We reached through three methods: formal focus groups, mobile field interviews, and individual feedback forms, a total of 618 participants in Baltimore City. This map shows how we had a fairly even distribution across the city. This is showing you the 9 precincts within the Baltimore Police Department. And we were able to conduct our mobile focus groups and our formal focus groups across the city and all regions of the city.
Okay, so this slide shows the demographic breakdown for Baltimore City according to the most recent census data. So you see that minorities actually make up a majority of the city. 62% of the city is Black, 30% is white, and 5% Hispanic or Latino. This is a breakdown of mode of participation by race. So we see that with 3 of the methodologies discussed by Dr. Lynch, the formal focus groups, mobile field interviews, and open feedback forms, hard copy forms, those 3 methodologies were primarily conducted with Black residents, and the open feedback forms were primarily completed by white residents.
So what we wanted to do today was discuss with you the ways in which our project connected to principles and characteristics of community engaged scholarship. We are going to focus on number 4 and 5 of these 8 principles: significant results, what kind of results the project brings to the community, directly to the community. And also number 5, how do you effectively present and disseminate your information to the community that is most impacted by your research?
So this table here shows you the 5 most prevalent primary themes broken down by data collection method. For the sake of time, I'm just going to focus on the first one, which was the primary concern that people had about issues of respect. And so this was primarily focus on individuals concerned that officers show more respect in voluntary contact calls and stops. And so when we analyzed the data, we were able to determine public safety priorities, with these three priorities being the most dominant. And so I'm going to talk a little bit, just focusing on the first priority of respect and how the work that we've done here actually responds to popular demand for respect. The way in which the BPD has dealt with this is by requiring that the new community policing now requires that procedural justice be used when officers are interacting with residents. So this means that officers are now expected and required to treat everyone in a fair, just, and impartial way when they are engaging with them in public. It requires that officers treat everybody with dignity and with fairness when they are stopping them or arresting them or searching them.
The other aspect of community engaged scholarship that we demonstrate in this project is presenting it and disseminating it to the community. This timeline shows you from the start of the consent decree at BPD all the way through to present day, how we've worked with the community, sought their input on the data collection, sought their input on draft policies on community policing at BPD. And as you can see in May, just recently, we have started a pretty remarkable and innovative and unique training with the Baltimore Police Department, in which they received their community policing training from Dr. Danielle Kushner and her team and community members. The Baltimore Police Department has never had training at their academy and curriculum from community members themselves. And so this is a particular outcome from this project that we see connected to community engaged scholarship. In terms of next steps for our project, we're going to continue to communicate with our partners, the community organizations that we work with throughout the project, and we're going to schedule presentations within Baltimore City so that we can ensure that the organizations that we worked with are aware of this community policy, community policing policy change and the ways in which the community is directly involved in that training. If you have any follow-up questions or would like to talk with us, please reach out to us. Dr. Danielle Kushner is at Reconcile, Baltimore, and I am at University of Wisconsin River Falls. Thanks for your interest in our project today.